Well, we have updates on the story we brought to you all on yesterday. As we reported yesterday, a Valentine's Day argument ended with one person cut and 2 people facing charges in Ackerman. Police Chief Martha Carradine says the incident all happened at Keller Circle Apartments about 6 o'clock on Friday morning. 36-year-old Stephen Miller is being charged with domestic violence, aggravated assault, and felon in possession of a weapon. 29-year-old Tatiana Robinson is being charged with domestic violence and aggravated assault. Now, Robinson's bond was set at $50,000 and Miller's bond was set at $75,000. Well, Mark Forsman, who is a dedicated entrepreneur and a community leader, is announcing his candidacy for the Mississippi State Senate District 18 seat. Now, this seat was recently held by Jennifer B. Branning following her election to the Mississippi Supreme Court. The special election to fill this vacancy is scheduled for April 15th of this year. Forsman is a job creator and a business leader. Forsman sent out a statement saying, and quote, "I plan to advocate for policy that will continue to make us proud to call Mississippi our home, and I will always filter my decisions through God's word, the Constitution, and common sense." He also says his platform focuses on the continuation of rebuilding small towns, protecting conservative values, and developing the workforce of tomorrow. Well, there has been another deadly plane crash. This time, a private plane landed aggressively at an airport in Scottsdale, Arizona, and slid into a parked business jet. One person was pronounced dead at the scene. At least 3 others were taken to the hospital. One of the jets has a famous owner. Chris Van Cleve has the latest and more on this story.
Dramatic video of a Lear jet as it lands at the Scottsdale, Arizona airport Monday afternoon. Shortly after touching down, it appears the left main landing gear collapses, sending the plane veering off the runway, crashing right into a parked Gulfstream 200.
Just maintain your altitude and enter a right base. Expect to go around. We just had an emergency.
Firefighters were on scene within a minute.
We have 1 fatality still in one of the planes. They were dead on arrival.
In addition to the 1 person killed, at least 3 others were injured. 2 were rushed to local trauma centers in critical condition. The other transported with non-life-threatening injuries. A 5th person was treated at the scene.
Our thoughts and prayers for the individuals on the aircraft. It's certainly a tragedy that occurred.
The plane, built in 1989, was coming from Austin, Texas. Preliminary flight data shows its last reported speed at around 63 miles an hour as it veered off the runway. The Lear 35A is owned by Motley Crue lead singer Vince Neil. A statement posted by his lawyer says he was not on board and that his thoughts and prayers go out to everyone involved. The NTSB will study that video of the accident to try to understand why the gear collapsed, but also look at the plane's maintenance records, and if it has an onboard voice or data recorder, they will seek to retrieve that as well. The Scottsdale Airport is a very busy airport in the Phoenix area, but it is primarily used by private planes and business jets. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Scottsdale, Arizona.
And the Tennessee Valley Authority is announcing plans to construct and operate a simple cycle frame combustion turbine facility at the New Caledonia site in Lowndes County. When it's complete, the new facility's 6 units will add approximately 500 megawatts to the grid. TVA has signed the record of decision for the construction and operation of a simple cycle combustion turbine plant on a parcel of TVA-owned land as the New Caledonia site. TVA is also announcing this decision after a thorough environmental review and stakeholder engagement process. The final environmental impact statement was released on TVA's website on January 6th and is expected to be published in the Federal Register by February the 28th. Well, a debate about early voting turned personal this week. Courtney Ann Jackson explains and has a recap of the back and forth and the history of the issue.
MVP award for the Mississippi Democratic Party, most likely to help Democrats. Those were some of the descriptions Governor Tate Reeves had for Senator Jeremy England this week. England is also a Republican.
Realistically, I don't think that's our governor making those comments. It's all on social media. I hope he has a talking to whoever he has running these things, because we don't need to have Republicans in this state attacking other Republicans by calling them Democrats. That's just not smart. It's not helpful to anybody. It makes us all look bad, and the governor's a friend.
This was all sparked by England's bill that would create a 15-day in-person, no-excuse early voting period. But check this out. He filed an early voting bill last year that also cleared the full Senate. It died in the House, but that didn't draw ire from the governor. Senator Joel Carter entered the conversation Thursday, delivering a speech calling for leadership and an end to the keyboard warriors.
This isn't a playground. We're not children. We are grown adults.
As for the issue, Mississippi is one of only 3 states without some form of no-excuse early voting. Despite the governor's comments about the Democrats' strategy, a look back at post from the National Republican Party account shows it was part of GOP's strategy as recently as the last election cycle.
Go to bankyourvote.com to sign up and commit to voting early.
The governor's Thursday morning post again called out Senator England, saying it's not funny to pass the Democrats' priorities. England responded just after midnight, adding, "Your brand of gross and angry politics has no place in Mississippi. I hate it, but I owe it to my family to tell you to stop being a bully." The Mississippi Republican Party declined to comment, and the governor's office referred us to his social media post. Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
The Columbus Soccer Organization is announcing a history-making partnership. I'll tell you more about it when we come back from the break. All right, welcome back in, everyone. On Saturday, the Columbus Soccer Organization announced a history-making partnership. A 3-year sponsorship deal will make Bank First the title sponsor. Our Anthony Jenkins Jr. talked with Columbus residents about how the sport, the CSO, and the soccer complex impacts the city.
The Columbus Soccer Organization has been providing multiple programs, including year-round recreational soccer for youth and adults. Now they're getting major support for the local business community for those programs. A 3-year partnership with Bank First will make the financial institution the title sponsor for the organization and will provide a $15,000 a year infusion of cash to continue and expand CSO's presence on the Golden Triangle soccer scene. It's the largest donation to date for CSO. The sport, the organization, and the presence of the Rogers Short Soccer Complex have been tourism and economic drivers for the city of Columbus.
Not being a business owner downtown, but I think about the business owners, and when you have the large events coming down here, the spillover that likely occurs with people going to get something to eat over a couple blocks away, or just deciding, hey, there's a break in the tournament, let's go walk around, see what's going on. And so it's just nice, and you get a lot of people. I look at it in terms of revenue for the downtown businesses.
The CSO is set to serve over 500 players in the Fall Recreational Soccer League. This can also be a possible benefit for tourism and local businesses in the area.
I think it's great for that because when you have tourists that come in, or if people are traveling, especially, close to the college here in town, it's nice to have a place that they can kind of come and sit and relax and just chill for a minute, maybe eat some lunch, just relax and enjoy the day. So.
I think it's a great addition. This is stuff we need. We need more things to get our community involved. Because being able to see each other's presence, it just stands for so much more.
In Columbus, telling your story, Anthony Jenkins Jr., WCBI News.
And the Columbus Soccer Organization is also renovating the historic Lee High School gym on Military Road into a modern multi-sport facility. Well, a Nettleton-based ministry will celebrate 8 years of changed lives and miracles in the coming week. God's House of Hope opened its first location in Nettleton in 2017. Since then, the Christian Recovery Center has opened 3 other locations in Kilmichael, Clinton, Alabama, and in Charleston. The ministry provides a 6 to 8 month intensive recovery program to help those suffering from drug or alcohol abuse. God's House of Hope will hold a special celebration this coming Thursday at Nettleton's Crosspoint Church to thank those who have helped and to also look towards the future.
Teachers that pour into this place and pour into these people's lives, they don't get paid to do what they do. They do it on their own free time. So we just want to let them know that we appreciate them.
Like I think about 8, the number 8, it's new beginnings, and not only do we want to celebrate where we've been, but also where God is taking us. We do have 4 locations. That's a whole lot in 8 short years, and so it's been a tremendous experience walking with the Lord these 8 years at God's House of Hope.
And with all 4 centers, God's House of Hope serves more than 100 people who want to break free from addiction.
We'll be tracking out severe weather on the other side of the break. I'll walk you through futurecasts and give you timing and impact. Stay with us.
I'm just.
Your WCBI First Alert Forecast with Belle Oliver.
Hey there, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us on this Saturday evening. We have a large dynamic system starting to prog some severe weather here in northeast Mississippi. This is all caused by a large cold front that's going to be working its way throughout the region, bringing us some colder air tomorrow. However, we just have to get through a couple storms first. Overall, the night has been relatively quiet. You'll see the addition of a new tornado watch throughout most of the state of Mississippi and Alabama. Again, just a couple storms off to our west, slowly working its way across the interstate right now. We did have a tornado warning earlier, but that has now since been canceled. It was going into Montgomery County, but it's all cleared now. Still going to be keeping our eye on the storm if anything changes. However, we are staying relatively quiet across most of our western counties so far. Just some flashes of lightning out there as well. Overall, the atmosphere is primed for severe weather. We have some really warm temperatures out there. Stepping outside, most of us are into the lower 70s. Today, some of us even reached the 80s and upper 70s this past afternoon. So it was definitely a hot afternoon. We still have some moisture in the air too. Our dew points into the 60s. It's also pretty windy out there. Look at our wind gusts. Most places are gusting anywhere up to the 30s, almost 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Starkville and Aberdeen, 29 in Tupelo. So definitely quite breezy outside, so maybe not the best weather if you're going out there. Overall, we have all the ingredients needed for some severe weather. What we're kind of in right now is the waiting game of trying to get most of these storms across the Delta and into our neck of the woods. But again, still going to be with you for the rest of the night until we get this main line kind of exodus. Again, now new additions for most of us in northeast Mississippi and western Alabama, all of us actually under that new tornado watch. Some of us are going until about 4 a.m., or excuse me, most of our places into about 4 a.m. Some places off in our western counties going until about 10 p.m. So relatively everyone under that tornado watch. So just make sure that you are continuing to have multiple ways to receive warnings tonight. We're still under the level 3 enhanced risk for most of our viewing area and generally the state of Mississippi and Alabama as a whole. So we're just, again, like I mentioned before, in the waiting game. And so here is Futurecast. Going to walk you through tonight. It's these long line of storms ahead of that cold front that is causing all of that severe weather for tonight. We're still watching it from now until about 11 p.m. as we get this main line start to impact most of our central counties and into the Golden Triangle region for Saturday night. And then as this line starts to push over across the state line into some of our western Alabama counties, Lamar, Pickens, Fayette, around 1 a.m. So the general timeline is from now until around 1 a.m. for us. So just make sure, again, have multiple ways to receive warnings. Of course, we'll be here with team coverage tonight to keep you guys updated. But after this cold front passes tomorrow, it's just going to turn really cold, and we're still going to have a lot of clouds tomorrow too, but thankfully no rain and no storms for your Sunday. Again, like I mentioned before, all the ingredients are here for some severe weather. This is our rotation track, so this is kind of pointing out where we could have some potential spin in the atmosphere as the system continues to work its way through. Overall, still going to have team coverage tonight, then turning cold as we head into this week.
A local church is trying to make sure people are ready for the workforce. I'll tell you more about it when we come back from the break. All right, welcome back in, everyone. With this being the beginning of the year and the month of February, a local church chose to give essential tips from across the board. In West Point, the Church House of Refuge Family Worship Center held their annual leadership workshop. Free food and tons of resources was available for all attendees at the workshop. The topics of workshop started with job skills preparation, mental health awareness, and spiritual awareness. Guest speakers say they were glad to give more insight on key information to possibly be able to help someone land their dream job.
So for me, if you just come to me and I can just review just what you have on your resume first, because that's step one, and then when you get to the employer, you're more prepared, you're more attractive with what they're looking for, and your responses are more formulated because we practice on, number one, getting your resume together, number two, interviewing, doing mock interviews with one another.
Now, the Church House of Refuge Family Worship Center say they will continue to host informative events like this one for the community of West Point. Stick around, we have more news and weather after the break.
We still have that threat of severe weather as we head throughout the rest of our Saturday evening into tonight, maybe even to the early hours tomorrow morning. Overall, those threats being that medium chance for tornadoes and also the damaging winds going to be that threat as well. We're under that level 3 out of 5 risk from the Storm Prediction Center. Of course, we'll be here with team coverage throughout the rest of the evening as we continue to monitor this line as it pushes through the whole state of Mississippi. After this cold front pushes through, that's kind of what's drawing the storms tonight. We turn really cold next week. We could be talking about a chance for maybe some winter stuff. Of course, we'll talk more about that tomorrow night, but got to get through tonight as well.
See you all back at 10. Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check.